Chapter 6 Lord of the Manor. Once inside the manor, I gawked around and found shining crystals, diamonds, gold, silver, rubies, and emeralds laid out everywhere. Gigantic, complex crystal chandeliers hung from the gorgeously painted high ceiling with magic circles and pentagrams surrounded by black winged angels. A Lucifer was in the center of the great magic circle of 12, each symbol etched on each point of the 12-pointed star. I remember reading about them, that the Lucifers are the highest and most powerful kind of dark angel in the hierarchy structure. They were the truest of the fallen angels, descended from Lucifer himself, or so they say. Never thought it was actually real. I continued to follow Itsuru as we passed by many demons in their mostly humanoid forms, dressed in fancy formal clothing with masquerade masks over their faces. They stopped talking and watched me walk by them, their eyes following my every move. We continued through the hallway gallery of portraits and landscapes, varying from rich demons, lavish monsters and royalty, to the hillsides of Scotland and to the castles of Romania and Europe. Seems like they had a long history alongside my own world. I wonder. We came upon another door that divided the hallway into another wing. 4 double-edged swords crossed over each other across a skull shield with 2 skeletal hands and arms on the doors. Itsuru opened the doors and we walked into another long hallway. All the doors were made of a dark red oak with golden handles. At the end of the hallway, before another hallway, we stopped at a door. It looked ordinary in comparison to all the other doors. Strange. Itsuru turned to me with glowing eyes, his hand resting on the door handle. "You've never met Master before, have you?" he asked as he chuckled under his breath. I shuddered as I shook my head slowly. "Don't worry, he won't bite. Much," he remarked and giggled, slowly turning the knob. "What an interesting family reunion." The door opened and I hesitantly entered, my eyes bouncing around the exotic room. I found a king-sized canopy bed surrounded by golden sheer curtains, a large dresser and wardrobe, shelves full of ancient books and scrolls, tall lit lamps flickering with small flames dancing in crystal balls, a desk filled with papers and writing utensils, a double folding door to a walk-in closet, and a red and golden dragon design on the rug surrounded by a magic circle on the polished wooden floor. The deep rose-red curtains swayed in the wind from the opened balcony French doors. "Hello." The figure standing at the doors behind the curtain spoke in a soft and seductive whisper. Cloaked in white from head to toe, the hood created a shadow over his face, with only his flickering red eyes piercing through. He stood about 6'4" tall, skinny and broad-shouldered. Loose cloth wrapped around his pale legs, ankles, and arms. He removed his hood to reveal his true eye color, black. His face was pale and thin, with a small but proportional nose to match, and 1 small gold-hooped earring hung in each ear. His long, silky platinum white hair reached to his lower back. He smiled with a nod as he walked in. Itsuru remained standing in front of the door, silent and still, with an amused grin. "Orain," I whispered weakly as I took a step back. The prince of all demons was here, standing before me, the lord of the manor and darkness, Orain. His aura, or whatever you want to call it, gave me creepy vibes like maggots crawling under your skin, and disappears just as quickly, changing into something so calming and yet sensual. His presence wreaks havoc with sensory overload, confusing the fight or flight receptors. I didn't even know what to do. At least we know each other's names, making it less awkward. Don't you think, Nyoko? he joked, circling me like a prowling vulture just waiting for me to die. So, what brings you here to the outer shell of darkness? I side-eyed him. You know why I'm here. Ah, yes, your mother's sword. But is that all you want? He posed another question with a smile, pouring himself and me a glass of champagne. I don't care about the past. I cannot change it, and I am not the Forsaken One, nor am I the priestess. My parents died in an accident a few years ago, not over 3,000 years ago. All I ask of is the sword and release me in peace. I demanded in a straightforward and blunt tone while looking directly into his disbelieving eyes. I'm sure that's what you want, but I am asking you to join my side. No strings attached. That's why I brought you here, Orain answered and handed me the glass. I slowly took it from his hand, looking down into it with more confusion. You'd be the best warrior in the land, and you'd rid of the world of stupidity and those ignorant fools, those humans who call themselves superior to every species alive and dead, and those between. Everyone will know your name, and that the legend has come to life. Wouldn't you like that? He laughed and gulped down his drink. I placed mine on the coffee table in front of me. What would happen if I disinclined? You know what I will do, Nyoko. Or will I have to bring back those memories of the past? He retorted with a twisted gleam in his eyes. He made it sound so sick. It took everything in me not to visibly shudder in disgust. I wasn't born in the past, and as I said before, I don't care. Give me what I came for, or I will have no choice but to stop you, I threatened, stepping back, which, by the way, was not a very good idea. Stop me, you say? How and why are you so sure you can? I am immortal, child. I just need your powers, willing or not. If you do not join my ranks, I will be forced to kill, and that includes you, Nyoko. Don't be like your late mother, Kamiya, who had to die because she couldn't live up to my easy expectations. I wanted to kill her, not for information, as Shintaro probably stated, but I killed her for the blood. How can I explain her death? It was very tasty. I had no regrets. She was a beautiful woman, but she was disposable, expendable like all the others. My eye twitched, annoyed at his blunt, careless misogyny. If you will not allow me to have my sword, then I will stop you and any other who gets in my way. I kept my back against the wall, even though that was another bad idea, to have myself cornered. Orain placed one hand beside my head on the wall and the other hand holding the glass. He smiled and sniffed the air around me, inhaling the sweet perfume while licking his lips. You smell just like her, and you are her reflection, nearly identical. You are quite remarkable and beautiful. Did you know that? He bit his lip and glanced into my eyes. If I go to the ball, will you give me the sword? I asked, conjuring up a plan, but kept the anger in my glare. Sure, why not? You promise? I added, ignoring his lingering gaze even though I wanted to vomit. Promise. He reluctantly backed off and walked to the closet, bringing out a bag with a hanger in it. He revealed a beautiful, short, dark blue sparkly dress and handed it to me. Wear this. Itsuru will escort you to your dressing room, and he will escort you to me at 6. Until then. Itsuru opened the door and led me out. We retraced our footsteps and exited the hallway into another hallway with dark blue doors. I glanced at the random grandfather clock, and it was only 4. Itsuru led me to another door and used a key to unlock it. I walked in and turned to look at him. So, what do you think? He asked. Interesting, I murmured and looked away from his heady gaze. I can only tell you this. Don't see me as the enemy or Lord Orain. We are all fighting for the same thing, to protect the world we live in. Before I could argue, he winked and held a finger to his lips. Be ready at 6. He closed the door and locked it quickly. I looked at the simple plain guest room and sat on the tattered couch. I needed time to think, and 2 hours was plenty. I hope my plan works. Orain paced around, trying to shake the effect off of him, my scent thick and lingering with mixed emotions and undiluted magic. He glanced down at the cup I left untouched and picked it up to down the champagne in one long gulp. He flung the glass at the wall, and it shattered as he slumped onto the couch, his breath heaving as he closed his eyes. I can't get that close to her again, but I must, he thought, the adrenaline beginning to slow down. She's intoxicating, even for a human. So irresistible. She doesn't realize her power yet. But when she holds on that sword, it'll be an interesting event. He stood up and barked out laughter as he danced and spun around with his arms raised. Is this what you wanted, Kamiya? He shouted up to the ceiling. I sat down on the couch, the dress wrapped in my arms, as I stared at the clock. That'll rain. A strange demon who acts more like a human, the very thing he hates. Another interesting point. I do not trust him, even if he is telling the truth. He will not give me the sword, or at least not that easily. And how did he know I was coming? Our conversation was another point to consider. He wants me to join him, yet he'd kill me if I don't agree. So what choice do I have? Do I have to fight? I have not shed any blood with these hands, and I will not change now. Although, I have this gut feeling that I am missing something. Damn it! The clock struck 6. I spent too much time spacing out. I walked into the bathroom and changed into the dress. It fits perfectly. How nice. My thoughts dripped with sarcasm. The short blue dress sparkled and dazzled even in the dim light, reminding me of the night sky. A knock fell upon the main door, and Itsuru opened it. His eyes bounced all around, his smile revealing satisfaction. Without a word, he waved his hand in my face, and magic dripped from his bare fingers. With one light brush of his fingertips, subtle makeup was plastered on me. I wrinkled my nose and scrunched my face, feeling the magic tingle and fade away underneath my skin. Follow me, Itsuru whispered and floated away. I followed him and closed the door behind me. My heart pounded to the beat of fast-paced techno music as we were getting closer to the ballroom. The doors opened themselves, and the ballroom itself looked more like a dance club. Thousands of people, demons mostly in their human forms, crowded, dancing close together to the throbbing music that the shadowy DJ produced. The dancers were not in their masquerade outfits anymore. They wore tight, dark clothes that reminded me of spandex and latex, matching their every curve and move. Each had his or her own individual masks that represented a certain element or characteristic about them. I saw demonic symbols like the devil, blood, daggers dripping with blood, upside-down crescent moons, naked deformed bodies, and more. Their movements were so hypnotic, and I was entranced, nearly losing the angel I was following. Itsuru led me through the tight crowd as they parted, filling up the gap when we passed by. Orain was by the stage, wearing the same outfit as before, and swaying to the beat. He smiled as he saw me and stopped swaying, signaling Itsuru to leave with a nod of his head. The angel disappeared into the crowd as the drums grew thicker and faster. Many hands caressed him as he walked by, and he responded to a few of them with light touches that made some of them swoon or shudder in such sweet ecstasy. Some even begged for his attention, mouthing dirty wishes and promises in the dark. Orain pulled my attention away by taking my hand to kiss it. Would you like to dance with me? He asked, barely audible over the loud, intensifying music. I gawked at the bodies dancing near us. They're so close to each other, and I'm supposed to dance like that? With him? He pulled me into the crowd and stood behind me as he held both of my hands across my stomach. He led me as I danced with him, twirling in circles as he brought me closer to him with every turn. I was beginning to see that he was not treating me as if I was his long-lost distant daughter, but as whom he saw physically, Kamiya. Even if he couldn't admit it, he still lusts for her. As the music changed, we were dancing faster, and the crowd drew even closer. The synthesizers and guitars blared as the drums thundered. The room grew hot and thick, more bodies with different masks joining in. I felt Oraine's laboring breath on my neck as we moved together, matching the drum beats. The dancing was so strange. The energy vibes burst from all the dancers, and I could sense that they were feeding off the music's essence. It was like a drug to them. I was losing myself to the heart of the beats and the rush of the seductive atmosphere. Oraine drew me close to him as he continued to dance behind me, inhaling my scent again. He kissed my cheek and slowly trailed down my neck. His breathing grew hoarser and lacked control. I felt him lick my neck once, teeth grazing me, the temptation strong to pierce the skin. I pulled away as I saw him reveal his elongated fangs. I couldn't scream, and he tugged me closer to him again, our bodies pressed intimately. He kissed me roughly on the lips, hands pushing me closer into him with his body dancing and pushing back against mine. I couldn't control or move my body. I will make you mine one way or another, my dear Nyogo, he whispered along my lips. It's only a matter of time before you return to me, willingly or no. He shuddered as if he was unable to touch me enough. With a grunt of effort, I shoved him back, wiping the kiss off my lips. He laughed, and the sound carried over the music. I gasped and ran into the crowd behind me toward the exit. No one would let me through. They continued jumping and dancing to the music, pushing me back further and further toward the front, where I had left Oraine. I saw him standing there with everyone around us seemed to have moved faster. I could only see blurry figures swaying back and forth. Oraine's eyes glowed, smiling as I was drawn closer to him. No! I shrieked, and the music stopped. Everyone stopped dancing, drugged from the ecstasy, slowly swaying on his or her feet. Their eyes sparkled and glowed, filled with lust and a high I couldn't even find words to explain. Their auras were literally lit up like a dark star. We made a deal, Oraine. Keep your end of the bargain. I spoke, my voice shaky, but the only reaction I got from him was a laugh. Not yet, love. I still need your blood, and then you can have your precious sword. He purred with his fingers, beckoning me forward. No, I shouted, backing off a bit, resisting his alluring pull. You promised. A bright light flashed, and as I opened my eyes, everyone was gone, including Oraine. The entire ballroom was empty, silence deafening. I decided not to stay there and ran into the hallway. I was definitely lost, but better than being alone with Oraine. I ran to the left corridor and down the west wing. If what Shincharu had said was true, then the cave was at the exit of the west wing. End chapter 6.